US Senators and Ukraine-Russia conflict allegations. Thank you for joining us for this breaking news report. Tonight we bring you an explosive investigation into the actions of US Senators Lindsey Graham and the late John McCain, and their alleged role in manipulating Ukraine's leadership, deceiving the American public, and pushing Ukraine into a devastating conflict with Russia for financial gain. What we've uncovered is a shocking web of lies, greed, and a blatant disregard for human life, and it raises serious questions about US imperialism, European complicity, and the failure of Western media to hold power to account. Let's start with the timeline. In 2013, McCain appeared in Kyiv, encouraging protests against the pro-Russian, democratically elected President Yanukovych. Senator John McCain stood before the Ukrainian people and delivered this message.
Repeat Ukraine. People of Ukraine, this is your moment.
Народи український, це ваш момент.
This is about you, no one else.
Це про вас.
This is about the future you want for your country. This is about the future you deserve.
Це про ваше майбутнє, про майбутнє вашої країни. Це про майбутнє, на яке ви заслуговуєте.
A future in Europe.
Майбутнє Європи.
A future of peace and good
Майбутнє миру.
relations with all of your neighbors.
Майбутнє всіх ваших сусідів.
The free world is with you. America is with you. I am with you. And the destiny you seek lies in Europe.
І ваша доля, як ми вважаємо, знаходиться в об'єднаній Європі.
Ukraine will make Europe better, and Europe will make Ukraine better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Inspirational words. But were they sincere? McCain's interference contributed to Yanukovych's overthrow in 2014, an unconstitutional coup that sparked the Donbas civil war. Fast forward to 2016, and Senator Lindsey Graham echoed similar sentiments in front of Poroshenko, framing Ukraine's struggle as America's fight.
Your fight is our fight.
Ваша боротьба – це наша боротьба.
2017 will be the year of offense.
Рік 2017 рік буде ріком нападу.
All of us will go back to Washington and we will push the case against Russia.
Ми всі повернемося до Вашингтону і ми будемо відстоювати санкції проти Росії.
Enough of a Russian aggression.
Досить вже російської агресії.
It is time for them to pay a heavier price.
Час вже, щоб вони заплатили важчу ціну.
I believe you will win. I am convinced you will win, and we will do everything we can to provide you with what you need to win.
Я вірю в те, що ви виграєте, переможете. Я переконаний в тому, що ви переможете, і ми вам допоможемо всіма можливими засобами. Thank you.
But what was the real motive behind this rhetoric? While Europe negotiated the Minsk Accords to bring peace, McCain and Graham returned to Ukraine in 2016, undermining these efforts. Graham declared 2017 the year of offense, pushing Ukraine toward conflict instead of peace. By 2024, the mask began to slip. Senator Graham revealed a far more calculated agenda.
What did Trump do to get the weapons flowing? He created a loan system. They're sitting on $10 to $12 trillion of critical minerals in Ukraine. They could be the richest country in all of Europe. I don't want to give that money and those assets to Putin to share with China. If we help Ukraine now, they can become the best business partner we ever dreamed of. That $10 to $12 trillion of critical mineral assets could be used by Ukraine and the West, not given to Putin and China. This is a very big deal. How Ukraine ends. Let's help them win a war we can't afford to lose. Let's find a solution to this war. But they're sitting on a gold mine to give Putin $10 or $12 trillion of critical minerals that he will share with China is ridiculous.
Here, the truth emerges. This was never about freedom, democracy, or peace. It was about control over Ukraine's vast mineral wealth, worth trillions of dollars. Graham's words reveal a cold, calculated plan to exploit Ukraine's resources for American profit, no matter the human cost. And what has been the cost? Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian lives lost, families torn apart, and a nation left in ruins. Meanwhile, American politicians like Graham have profited from the chaos, pushing for endless conflict to secure their financial interests. But Lindsey Graham's greed doesn't stop here.
Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well.
Transformative for whom? Certainly not for the Ukrainian people, who have paid the ultimate price. Graham's frustration with Ukrainian President Zelensky for not playing ball with this exploitative deal is telling.
I told Zelensky, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending.
An interest worth defending? At what cost? The lives of countless Ukrainians, the destabilization of an entire region. This is not leadership. This is exploitation on a global scale. What we're seeing here is a blatant example of geopolitical manipulation. Senators Graham and McCain framed this conflict as a moral crusade for freedom and democracy, but their own words reveal a far more cynical agenda. This was about securing access to Ukraine's mineral wealth and ensuring that these resources benefit American interests, not the Ukrainian people. The human cost has been staggering, and it's clear that profit, not peace, was the driving force behind their actions. But the story doesn't end there. What Senators Graham and McCain did was a blatant interference in the politics of an independent nation. They encouraged Ukraine to seek confrontation with Russia, ultimately leading to war, all while presenting themselves as champions of Ukrainian sovereignty. However, as soon as President Zelensky refused to sell out his nation's wealth to US interests, he was dropped and publicly criticized by Graham.
Let's talk about the positive, but he was terrible at Munich, Zelensky, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment. He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
This is a shocking admission. After years of pushing Ukraine into a devastating conflict, Graham now dismisses Zelensky as a bad investment simply because he refuses to hand over Ukraine's mineral wealth to American corporations. This is imperialism at its most brazen. And what of Europe? European leaders have largely followed the US lead, acting as vassals to the American empire rather than pursuing an independent foreign policy. The Western media, too, has failed to critically cover this story, instead parroting the narrative of US benevolence and ignoring the exploitation at the heart of this conflict. We've exposed the lies and deceit of Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain. Their actions have not only deceived the American public, but have also led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, all in the name of profit. The betrayal of President Zelensky, who stood up for his nation's sovereignty, and the complicity of European leaders and Western media leave a dark stain on the so-called rules-based international order. The question now is, will there be accountability? Will the American people demand justice for those who have been sacrificed on the altar of greed? And will Europe finally break free from its role as a vassal to US imperialism? Thank you for watching.